Hello everybody, today I want to talk about tie-outs. So tie-outs, for those that are a little bit unfamiliar, are more or less the corner pieces of your tarps or even your tents. So usually you use some string and a stake of some sort, stake it into the ground, and that's what holds tension with your tarp. So that way it doesn't flap into the wind. So this is my system. I found this super easy. It requires no knots in order to set up, so you don't have to worry about, oh, did I do that right? Is it going to be correct whenever the wind starts coming? I highly suggest you learn knots. However, with this, you don't have to rely on them. So you're not that good with it, this system might be for you. This bag here, all it is a roll bag. I keep my hammock suspension here, my continuous ridgeline right here, my bear kit, as in my throw rock kit with the string and everything for my bear bag, sits right here. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up, and you'll see my tie-outs. So I keep just a normal, no string really, other than what comes stock. With me just in case. It's a MSR mini groundhog. I keep that just in case one of my other ties just break. I also use this to kind of spread out my hammock, make it a little bit wider inside. At least it feels that way. Then we have our stakes. So I have a backup one that doesn't really have all the stuff that my other tie-outs do. It's just a backup just in case one of these would break. Always have that as an option. This is the system right here. I was making sure I actually grabbed the right one. So this system here consists of a couple components. You still have that MSR mini groundhog, which is the stake. Then you have yellow zingot, in which this stuff is pretty cheap. Just type it in. I know like Dutchware sells it, and just a couple other. You can get it on Amazon too. Very lightweight. Then this white piece that you see is actually shock cord, and it's not very long. It's only about this long with a loop, continuous loop. Attached to it with the yellow zingot is this line lock 3. Line lock 3 is the right diameter size for this zingot right here. And then attached to the other end is that shock cord, which allows for some tension to have a little bit of a give. So that way, if a really strong wind comes by, your guideline's not so tight that the wind wants to overpower it and rip it. So that's kind of what this will help with a little bit. Attached to it is a Dutch hookworm. These are actually pretty kind of expensive, so an alternative to this would be like a plastic mitten hook, which will work just the same. Reason why I'm using these is just because, one, gives me an extra option. I could always just tie the yellow zingot to this and I don't have to worry about knots. However, I mostly just use this just to tie around whatever it might be and use it as a hook. So the reason I even made these to begin with is I have so many tarps that all of them seem to have like a different tie-out point that you connect your stakes to, whether it be fabric or if it's like a D-ring, whatever it might be. I just got tired of always having to deal with knots. I just wanted something I could quickly put up and not really have to worry about anything. And I wanted to fit all of my tarps. So that's why I made this. So how it works, let's say this is like a D-ring that's at the corner of a tarp. I would slide this through, and this little middle knot that I made onto the shock cord will hold that in place, and now it's not going anywhere. To adjust the tension, all I have to do is just pull on the zingot, and the line lock will keep it in place. So that tension's always going to be there. That way I don't have to wake up in the middle of the night and it's making an awful noise because it's flapping in the wind. In order to deploy it after it's attached to the tarp, you just start unrolling. And just like that, you'll stake it into the ground. You'll adjust the tension with the zinget by just pulling it or lifting it up in order to loosen tension. And that's all there is to it. Very, very simple. If, like I had something like a string system, at the corner of my tarp, there's just a string. I had this on like my Cuban fiber tarp, for example. All it is just extra zinget, and it's tied into a loop, so it would kind of look like this. I just grab my Dutch hook, pop it in, and it's set. Super, super easy, very convenient. Another thing that I really like about it is whenever you're packing it away, you just kind of find the middle point and you just start twisting. Once it's set up on top, I just start spinning. Kind of bring it back to the top just to make it kind of look a little neater. Once it gets about this far away, I just start spinning and making the line lock go to the top. Once it's at the top, I pull a little tension on the shock cord, spin it around. Once it comes towards the end, just wrap that shock right around the head of the line lock, and it is all set to go. Slide it back in, and we're completely finished. Each one of these, they're actually really, really lightweight for what they are, at least. Which you don't have to use the MSR mini groundhogs. However, this is just something that you can go to REI, just buy, just right off the shelf. You don't have to order something. You can use any type of stake, really. I just like how if I need a replacement, I'm able to get one. So the weight of them, we'll go ahead and do grams first. Pretty sure you can see that. If not, it is 14 grams or 0.55 ounces. And for you pound people, it is 0.34 pounds. So overall, not too bad. Of course, you can always use a lighter stake in order to make it lighter, but for how quick these things are, I really truly do believe they are amazing.